What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again. We got ourselves the next episode of Subscriber Showcase. It is that one and only series where we dedicate to showcasing our subscribers' arena defense. If they find me in the arena, they shoot me an email at childish402@gmail.com with the subject line Subscriber Showcase. I will go ahead and record the fight so that you can see your arena defense in action, and then of course we will talk about the pros and cons of your team in an effort to improve not only your composition, but let the community know if they have something similar to that, so they can make the necessary changes in order to improve their progression. All right, so Xelasy, yeah, buddy, here we go. This is, I'm really looking forward to showcasing this to you guys, because again, I generally hang around in I'm bouncing around between Conquer 2, Conquer 3, Guardian 1, Guardian 2, and so it just so happened that one of my subscribers that found me is a top-notch player with an amazing defense, so I'm excited to showcase to you. Let's take a look here. We got ourselves Ciara. Over here. We got ourselves Orion, Praha, and Perna. Yeah, oh, that's just fail. Perna, there we go. Perna. All right, so let's take a look at that speed lead first. We'll go from left to right on Zell's team. We got ourselves good old Ciara. Fatal Will. Looks like we're rocking attack, HP. Okay, so I like, it's funny because a lot of people might criticize this build. With regards to Ciara's, it's all about getting, the damage up as much as possible. If you're using it in some kind of a unique team that needs to be synced, getting that speed where you need to get it. And so initially when I saw this Ciara, I was thinking, oh, Fatal Will. Of course I'm initially looking at this, so I'm thinking maybe speed, a speed attack HP or something like that of the sort. But it just kind of goes to show you that, when you take a look at your monster, your rune collection or whatnot, and see what you can kind of put together as far as getting an amazing amount of runes and quality, because of the fact that we got some attack power here with the speed substats. We can go ahead and sacrifice a little bit of attack for HP to make this unit even that much more tankier, and still put out some good numbers here. This is nothing to be down about here. So if you're rocking these particular stats, this is really a nice, well-rounded Ciara. This kind of reminds me of I think it's Pando Ciara. If you guys have seen the Educate Dominate Pando Ciara, rocking more or less the same stats with even more hit points, just to kind of throw his team off guard. A lot of people think Ciara is built generally squishy. So if you have the opportunity to collect a good amount of attack, a good amount of speed without sacrificing on the accuracy and whatnot, and the synergy, the speed gaps and whatnot, and still can make them tanky, then that's great. Because again, with Will on there, if they do happen to get that first turn, if they don't get that defense break on there, they're really going to have to rely on just pure power, attack power of the unit in order to snipe it and get it out of the way. So I really like that build there. There's really not going to be anything to criticize in this. You can make an argument for Violent Will on the unit. You're always going to see a lot of people run Violent Will. I love Violent Will too, but again, it comes down to the overall stats when it comes to this unit. And so for me, I'm a big fan of Fatal Will too. Next one up here, let's take a note on that speed, guys. Let's take a note on that speed 190. So let's take a look at the speed attack bar booster here. Okay, we got ourselves Orion. Okay, Swift, running the speed, HP. Now this is not a no-brainer. You guys have heard us go back and forth. We talked about it. Me personally, I've talked about it with some members on Educate and Dominate. When we're talking about utilizing an attack bar booster in your arena defense, if you are in the arena using an attack bar booster like Bernard, Orion, and whatnot, you're doing everything in your power to get as much speed as possible. But again, you have to consider the arena defense, so to speak, your team, the syncing of your team, right? Because there's no point in making a 300 speed Bernard with a 120 speed team to back it up. One unit can be fast, but if the rest of your team is not synced, then it's no good. The other opponent can cut in between, throw up a Chloe or something like that, Fanatic, and then do what they got to do to take one turn and then fire back at you. So looking at this Orion, amazing units, right? Swift, we got this talk about Will. Swift will on a unit like this. If you're going for the first turn, will to me is not really important, because if you're rocking a really strong composition, and what your capable level, whatnot, you definitely want to think about just overall speed and trying to get that first turn. If you're sitting here sacrificing speed to get will on it, then you're not doing yourself justice, because again, if you don't get that first turn, that's when things hit, crap hits the fan or whatever. So but again, let's say you do have random will runes that go in the 1 in the 5 slot or whatever, that give you more speed, then my hat's off to you. But generally speaking, it doesn't always happen that way. So again, Swift broken on an Orion in the arena defense is a very strong thing. Now, if you're one of those people that use Orion as in the arena as well as Guild Wars, you've heard a lot of recommendations about Violent just being a really good candidate as well. Now, let's see. We got ourselves, where are we at here? Praha, okay. So, 222 speed Praha, okay. Speed, hit points, okay. And so this is a great, I'm kind of glad they have this rune up the way they do, because I kind of wanted to talk about this. Oracles and rune builds. I can't sit here and just flat out, say this is the way it is because I got so much experience, right? I do not have an oracle, but from the oracles I've seen, I see more oracles running a speed hit point kind of combination versus like any kind of speed critical rate hit point, or maybe they got some absurd substats, hit point, speed substats, hit point, critical rate hit point. I see more of them relying on just consistent overall speed, doing what they can do to get that speed, and then adding a nemesis set on top of that, versus people going critical rate. That being said, there are a couple candidates out there that do run, have just absurd speed substats, speed, HP, defense substats on a critical rate rune, and they put it on there. So it is nice to have that, additional attack bar increase. But again, I'm a big fan of consistency on the unit. Mind you, Praha is going to go for the unit that it has elemental advantage over, so there is going to be a decent amount of chance to critically hit. That being said, I feel like having that HP on 4 or even defense on 4, whatever you're trying to do, just helps overall with the effective HP of the unit. And that you're going to be sacrificing, generally speaking, you're going to be sacrificing a primary stat on 2 to get that speed. You just need to have this unit really fast, so you really have to get the highest HP and defense substats on that 4, 6, 1, 5 slot, 3 slot, whatever, doing what you got to do to make up for that speed route on 2. So I think this is a prime example. You could go, there are people that run critical rate on there, but I find more value in the effective HP of these stats, and not relying on critically hitting the unit to get your get your turns per round or whatever. So hats off to you on that one. Last but not least, we got ourselves Perna. Okay, so Violent Blade, looks like we're running speed, critical damage, and attack. And so let's take note on this, guys and girls, ladies. We got ourselves speed on 2 and not like attack onto or whatnot. Of course, when we look at the rune, it kind of it makes it obvious. You got a little bit of attack on here. You got some critical rate, critical damage, not too much, but we got ourselves obviously a blade rune. We're doing what we can do to give ourselves the amount of critical rate and critical damage we need, so that we can do some really good amount of damage. In addition to that, we are running a speed based kind of a comp here, right? We're running CR Orion Praha Perna, and so he has to have a certain amount of speed to kind of be in line with his comp, and so he can get the job done. Now, I do not have the quote unquote calculator right in my head right now. Looking at a 280 speed Orion, I believe we're looking at anywhere from like a 205 to 215, kind of a like a Ciara, Praha Perna, where they kind of need to be right at that speed gap, closing the speed gap or whatnot. It looks like the Ciara and the Perna are a little bit shy, but it looks like Praha is right in the mix. So the cool thing about that is that if Orion gets the turn first and Praha does go for the second skill, predictive future, then you're going to have an opportunity to get a jump on those, removing the beneficial effects, as well as possibly stunning the unit because of that skill. And we know that even though you know, Praha has 3 skills over you know, Juno's like 2 because of the passive. You know, generally speaking, they say, oh yeah, the cool thing about Juno is because he has the passive, there's a higher chance of Praha using the skill and whatnot. If we're talking about this kind of comp getting the first turn, Praha's AI is smart enough and such that she's not going to heal her party if nobody has taken, you know, health, you know, under 50% or whatever like that. So the good thing about it is the way this comp is working, you're going to get the jump on the unit and you're going to have a 50% chance to cast that particular skill. So hopefully it works in your favor. And then, you know, last but not least, we got ourselves the Ciara to finish it off, as well as the Perna. So hopefully the Orion, you know, lands that defense break, so, you know, Perna can go ahead and you know, follow through and get that damage done. That being said, you know, regardless of what's going to happen, the amount of damage that, you know, Perna puts out, the amount of damage that Ciara puts out, is really, really strong. In addition to that, we got ourselves that elemental diversity. We got 2 different units putting out good single target damage, and you know, you're not, like I said, you're not mixing and matching those 2 elements or whatnot, so you're going to cover a lot of ground with regards to this comp. But yeah, overall, I mean, like, you know, I know that people, you know, when they watch these videos, they're generally saying, okay, you know, we've kind of analyzed the team. What can we really say about it? You know, what we can see all the pros. What are the cons? In my eyes, the only con to mention really is the lack of speed on Perna and on Ciara, right? To match up with Orion's speed. You're gonna be a little bit short on that. But again, that's me being extremely picky. This team is top notch. I can't say enough good things about it. Really on point. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really hard to get you know, in that 210, 215, 220 speed Ciara while maintaining the attack power you need, the accuracy you need, and of course, you know, in this particular situation, being a little bit more tanky, the speed that you need. Same thing with the Pernas. You know, it's pretty darn hard to get the stats that you need when you got when you're trying to, you know, when you know that you have to sacrifice speed onto in an effort to, you know, get them right there. You see a lot of people out there running Pernas that do have a little bit more of a tankiest approach, you know, anywhere in that 23 to 25k hit points, in addition to having high attack power, high critical rate, high critical damage. But again, in this particular scenario, we gotta get that speed in there. So I like it. Again, nothing bad to point out, guys. So if you are thinking of, you know, trying to build an arena defense, I know that a lot of people are a big fan of a certain type of combinations, AoE based combinations and whatnot. I'm a super big fan of you know, combos that do have sniping units, because again, even though these are not you know, they're not going to have the attack power buff or whatnot, the raw power that these Nat5s put out still can get the job done when it comes to, you know, knocking out the opponent. And again, with this one being on violent, it can go ham. I'd love to see the Ciara on a violent wheel, you know, just to kind of add to the mix, you know, provide a little bit more damage. But yeah, overall, really good team. I'm super excited to go up against it. There's a really good chance that I'm going to get wrecked. So here we go, guys. The arena match versus Xelasy. Thank you again, Xelasy, for letting me do this. I appreciate you reaching out to me. Again, guys, if you guys want to be a part of the subscriber showcase, please be sure to shoot me an email, childish402@gmail.com, with that subject line, subscriber showcase, okay? Again, if you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are in the description down below. Thank you all for tuning in. It's your boy ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we will see you in the next arena match. I'm out.